Hey, I wanted to share a little bit with you here, and it's about my new song that's coming out. It's not a new song, it's my old song. I wrote it over 15 years ago, and I recorded it a couple weeks after I wrote it. And now it's coming out on a label. So, musicians, sometimes you have to be patient before your work gets heard. I mean, who knows? It still might not get that heard, but I want it to. I hope it does because it's a very good song. And I have a lot of good songs, It's just, when you're a songwriter, you think, oh, I wrote this cool song, everyone's going to hear it. But, it's not getting it heard, it's the hard part, you know. So, anyway, I was living in Los Angeles in 2007, in the early part of the year. And I was like living by myself in this apartment near like Pico and La Cienega. And I met this girl and I recorded a song with her. And then she introduced me to somebody who gave me information about a producer that I could work with for a little bit of money. It was considering that he was pretty professional. $60 an hour wasn't that bad, and I was able to do the song in 4 hours. So, anyways, I had written the song late at night. I was listening to it coast to coast radio station. They were talking about the afterlife, and I was thinking about paranormal stuff, and I was just thinking about how weird would it be to be like comatose for a while and then you wake up and the world's changed. And it's also about how when a lot of times when people have near-death experiences and they come back, they really see the world in a different way. And a lot of times they're not as scared of death because a lot of times that being fearful of death makes you fearful of a lot of things in life. So anyway, that theme has been in a lot of my music, and I wrote this song, and I was just like, oh, this is a good song, and I want to record this ASAP. So I had this job where I was working at kind of like a juice bar in West Hollywood, and actually Andre 3000 from Outkast used to come in all the time. And I didn't really talk too much. I was just going to say hi, But anyways, so I recorded this song with this producer. This is a producer who's really been around. He worked on some Madonna stuff. He's worked with some rock bands and some pop bands. And anyway, so I recorded with him, and it was really exciting to go into a good studio and record this song. And we did it in under 4 hours. And he mixed it down. I had the whole thing all done. And I put it up on MySpace, if you can believe it, because this is 2007. Facebook may have been around at that point, but I didn't know about it until later, 2007. So I had it on MySpace, and I was getting really good feedback on it from a lot of people. And then I later had, so I later actually made Andre 3000 listened to it when he was in the juice place, and he said, oh, I like it. It reminds me of the Smiths, And he was like, oh, I would buy that. And I was like, that's cool, He was a cool guy. He was really into health food, I think mainly vegan type of guy, really nice. But anyway, that job didn't last too much longer for me. I did one more song with that producer, and then I went to my friend Jamie's brother, Jeremy Black, and did a few songs with him. And I kind of I got distracted from Comatose. It was a good song, and I would play it for people, and people always liked it, but I just got distracted from it because I just didn't have, I write a lot of songs, so I didn't keep my eye on the ball in terms of, I'm going to make this song, and I didn't have, a manager or anything. So it kind of fell by the wayside. And then I actually played bass in another band, and I was playing in different bands. And then, it's a song that I really liked the way that I recorded it, but it wasn't one of those songs that I played a lot when I had bands. When I played it, I feel like it would come out a lot different than I originally wrote it. So anyway, that was 2007. And in 2008, I was kind of playing in a band. We were kind of playing around a lot of bars and stuff. And then in 2009, I did a song with Peter DiStefano from Porno for Pyros. And I kept on having these little things where I was like, okay, cool. Now I'm really gonna hit it big or whatever. Start getting some kind of like success or something. And that was one of them. And then I recorded like with the Dirty Suits. We did my song Astor Motel. We did that in a nice studio, 4th Street studio. And then 2011, I had to move out of my apartment. And I moved to the Valley. And then I went to the school for a little while. And my car broke down. So I was kind of like, I don't know. It's just kind of like having a rough time. And then, oh no, actually that was the end of 2010, I'm sorry. And then I broke up from the band and I was just kind of doing my own thing for a while. In 2011, I went to Optimum Health Institute and I played my song Give a lot. And then I also had released a 54-track album onto CD Baby. And Comatose was on that album. But recently I unreleased that album because there were so many songs on it. It was just sort of flooded my Spotify and everything with so many songs. So I took that down. But I was kind of sad that like Comatose wasn't anywhere available. So besides the video, which I made in 2013. So there was a lot of kind of things going on in 2012. Before that, I started playing with Logan and Aaron. We were playing some gigs. And then 2013, I went to LA City College, and I finally was able to make the video because I had a friend who was a director, and I had some friends that were actors, and I kind of put together this video in 2013. But I wasn't able to get it edited until after I went to India and traveling around, and I came back in 2015 to Santa Rosa, my hometown, and my friend Juan De La O helped me edit the video. So finally, in 2015, 8.5 years after I wrote the song Comatose and recorded it, finally I had the video. Put the video out. The video, in all these years, has gotten like 1,000 views. I mean, I sometimes feel like the opposite of famous, I swear. I mean, people say, oh, it's a great song, it's a great song, it's a great song. But for some reason, it's hard for me to get traction. When people talk about like, oh, I've had such a hard time with my career, dude, I've written like hundreds of songs. I've made videos. I've done all kinds of stuff. I can't seem to get any traction. But that's okay, because, I'm cool with it. I'm going to keep playing, anyway. So anyway, so that was 2015. 2016, I had a band, and we recorded in my class with Jake, and Jake became a good friend of mine, and he helped me mix that. And then I hung out with him a lot, and then he signed me to his label. So I put out like an EP on his label, and then, I put out the song TV in My Head, and then I was kind of like living in LA in a car. I got hired at Starbucks Pepperdine. I was crashing in my car. I was like taking bottle showers on the beach. I was like really roughing it, but I was just trying to save money, get out of debt, and buy some crypto, stuff like that. I was just trying to like do the right thing. And I think at some point around before that, Jake had talked to me about maybe putting out Comatose. He's like, oh, that's a good song. Maybe we should put that out. And I already had the video and everything. So But for a while, I didn't see Jake because I was gone. I did like all these road trips, and also I didn't have a copy of the original master or the original song. All I had was the video. So I was like, oh no, if we put it out, how are we gonna put out the original version? But then a couple months ago, I signed into my Dropbox and I found the MP3 of Comatose. So when I went to California last month for a friend's memorial, I met up with Jake and we made plans to put out Comatose. I already have the video, have the song, and so now, September 30th, on Spotify, under my name, Jeremy Ferrick, you can find the song Comatose that I wrote and recorded over 15 years ago at the age of 31, about 15 years after the first time I made a demo when I was 16. So it's kind of like the halfway point between when I started, although I started a few years earlier than that. But it's kind of like, I feel like that song is sort of the halfway point between when I started writing songs and now. So hopefully some people hear the song and like it. And it's also, if you look up, there's the video is like on a few different channels. So if you type in my name and Comatose, I think it might even be on this channel. And it's definitely, there's also a few live versions out there. And, on that record that I had put out that's not out anymore, there's a few different versions of it. There's like some live versions, there's some jam versions, and then there's the studio version. So anyway, I hope you go to Spotify and check out Comatose by Jeremy Ferrick.